Prepare yourself for a terrifying history where biological weapons, humanity's most brutal tools of death, were born from barbaric acts centuries ago. The first recorded evidence was in 1346, during the siege of Kaffa in Crimea, when the Tartar army, under the command of Khan Janibeg, hurled hundreds of plague-infected corpses into the city with catapults, deliberately spreading the disease to the enemy. Thousands of citizens and soldiers in the city died in agony, and the survivors then brought the plague back to Europe, contributing to the Black Death, a pandemic that killed an estimated 50 million people. This was not just a primitive act of war, but a precursor to the development of biological weapons, where humans turned microorganisms into weapons of destruction. Since then, history has witnessed the terrifying evolution of this type of weapon through the ages. In the 18th century, during the colonial wars in North America, the British Army deliberately distributed smallpox-infected blankets to Native American tribes, most notably during the Battle of Pontiac in 1763. A British officer, Geoffrey Amherst, proposed sending blankets from a smallpox-infected hospital to Native American villages, leading to thousands of deaths due to lack of immunity. A historical document from Amherst's correspondence shows that he wrote, "We can use disease to wipe out the enemy without firing a shot." This action was not only a war crime, but also paved the way for later organized biological experiments. By World War I, Germany was suspected of using anthrax and cholera bacteria to destroy Allied cattle and horses, marking a shift from random tactics to planned strategies. The 20th century saw the rapid development of biological weapons when modern science joined in. During World War II, the Japanese Unit 731, located in Manchuria, conducted horrific experiments under the command of General Shiro Ishii. Thousands of Chinese, Russian, and Allied prisoners were infected with bubonic plague, anthrax, and yellow fever through direct injection or spraying. One survivor described being locked in a sealed room where the bacteria were sprayed into the air and watching fellow prisoners die in agony within hours. An internal document from Unit 731 revealed that they killed more than 10,000 people for testing, and the results were later turned over to the United States in exchange for immunity from prosecution after the war. During the Cold War, the United States developed Project MKNAOMI, researching anthrax and botulinum toxin at Fort Detrick, Maryland, with the goal of creating biological weapons against the Soviet Union. A former employee said he had seen thousands of dead animals in the lab, and he heard rumors that target cities had been listed for testing in case of war. The Soviet Union was not to be outdone with its biopreparat program, where they produced tons of bacteria and viruses, including a modified smallpox virus, enough to wipe out an entire continent. From the initial barbaric acts to high-tech programs, bioweapons have become a human obsession, raising the question, have we created an uncontrollable monster? And in that context, a terrifying conspiracy has emerged. The COVID-19 pandemic may be a bioweapon created by China. Get ready to discover a chilling truth, where the global pandemic is not a natural accident, but the result of a dark plan orchestrated in Wuhan. Have you ever wondered how this virus emerged from Wuhan, China, in late 2019 and spread around the world with terrifying speed? The story begins in the early days of the pandemic, when initial reports indicated that the SARS-CoV-2 virus emerged near the Wuhan Institute of Virology, a leading Chinese bio-research facility located just a few miles from the Huanan seafood market. David Martin, a prominent financial analyst and conspiracy theorist, made the explosive claim in 2021 that COVID-19 was the result of a bioweapons project developed in the Wuhan lab with the support of secret Chinese government funds. He revealed that documentary evidence, including coronavirus-related patents dating back to 2015, showed that China had been secretly researching a highly infectious virus for use as a bioweapon. Another chilling detail is the account of an unnamed former employee of the Wuhan Institute who defected to the West in 2020 and claimed on an anonymous forum that he had witnessed Chinese scientists testing the virus on animals with the goal of creating a perfect weapon to undermine rival nations. From there, the conspiracy theory exploded online, spreading through platforms like X, where a 2022 post from a self-proclaimed insider claimed to have heard sirens in the Wuhan lab in November 2019, just before the pandemic began. Suspicions grew when China quickly locked down Wuhan and destroyed virus samples, leading many to believe that it was hiding a deadly secret. With geopolitical tensions between China and the West, and Beijing accused of lacking transparency, the conspiracy theory has become an unquenchable fire. Believers have uncovered evidence that makes you cringe. They point to the strange coincidence that the Wuhan Institute of Virology, which studies dangerous viruses, is at the center of the outbreak. A viral YouTube video from 2021, filmed by an independent journalist, shows lab workers in protective gear leaving at night with mysterious containers, as if they were moving something dangerous. Another is the testimony of an unnamed Chinese doctor who told an anonymous TV channel in 2023 that he was forced to sign a document wiping out evidence of the virus in the lab, and he asserted that COVID-19 has man-made characteristics, like its unusually fast spread, that could not have occurred naturally. They also cite a leaked internal report on X in 2024, which claims that China tested the virus on prisoners to test its effectiveness, with one witness reporting hearing screams coming from a detention facility near Wuhan in late 2019. Another piece of evidence is the extraordinary wealth of high-ranking Chinese officials, whose fortunes have skyrocketed by billions of dollars during the pandemic, rumored to be the reward of a larger conspiracy. They even link China with other countries, such as Russia, in a secret alliance to spread the virus to sabotage the Western economy, a plan described by one ex-user in 2025 as 21st century biological warfare. These details make one wonder, have we become victims of a global conspiracy? Testimony of a defector scientist. A Chinese scientist, claiming to be a former member of the Wuhan Institute of Virology, fled to Europe in 2021 and revealed in 2021 an anonymous interview on an underground podcast that the lab had been conducting gain-of-function experiments on the coronavirus since 2017. He claimed that a virus modified to make it more infectious was accidentally released by an intern who broke a test tube containing a virus sample in a lab that was below safety standards. The scientist also said he heard senior officials at the institute discussing an information blockade immediately after the incident, and that he was threatened with death if he revealed the truth. Secret satellite images. A hacker group calling itself Truth Seekers published on a dark web forum in 2023 satellite images allegedly taken of the area around the Wuhan Institute of Virology in October 2019. The images show dozens of military trucks eerily appearing at night, along with thick smoke rising from what is believed to be the institute's incinerator. A freelance online image analyst claimed that this was a sign of mass destruction of biological samples, as if they were trying to wipe out evidence before the pandemic broke out. Leaked internal report from the Chinese military. A document purportedly an internal report from the Chinese military, leaked on an anonymous website in 2024, revealed that a project codenamed Shadow Dragon had been underway since 2016 to develop viruses capable of crippling an enemy's economy without direct war. The document lists the Wuhan Institute of Virology as one of the main facilities carrying out the project, with the goal of creating a virus that could spread rapidly but leave no trace of its artificial origin. We must make the world believe that this is a natural accident, so that no one doubts our true intentions, reads one passage in the report. A local resident's account. A resident living near the Wuhan Institute of Virology posted a video on a domestic Chinese app in December 2019 before it was taken down within hours, saying they heard sirens blaring from the institute late one night, along with screams and flashing red lights. They claimed they saw staff in white hazmat suits running out of the main gate, some carrying shiny metal boxes, as if they were moving something dangerous. The video was later saved by another user and circulated in a secret chat group in 2022. Secret call recording. A recording of what was believed to be a call between two senior Chinese officials, leaked to an international forum in 2023, captured a tense discussion about the Wuhan incident. "We can't let the West know that this virus can be traced back to our lab," one man says. "Make sure all the data is deleted, and anyone who opens their mouth disappears." The other replies, "But if they find out, we'll say it's America's fault. We've got a script ready." The recording, which has not been verified, has taken conspiracy theorists by storm. Unusual financial trail. A secret financial report, published by an independent investigative group on an underground website in 2025, shows a huge flow of money, up to $50 million, from a Chinese government fund to the Wuhan Institute of Virology between 2018 and 2019. The money is marked as being for special research projects, but no specifics are given. An anonymous financial analyst claimed that the amount was unusually large for a typical research grant and could be linked to the development of a bioweapon. Wuhan medical workers account. A nurse working at Wuhan Central Hospital in November 2019 recounted in an anonymous interview on a small YouTube channel in 2024 that she had seen a mysterious group of patients with severe flu-like symptoms, but was not allowed to officially record them. She claimed that the patients were all employees of the Wuhan Institute of Virology and that she heard a senior doctor whisper, "This is not normal flu. They did something in the lab that no one knows about." The nurse then disappeared without a trace, raising suspicions that she had been silenced. Evidence of military control. An anonymous source on an international forum in 2022 revealed that soon after the pandemic broke out, the Chinese military completely sealed off the Wuhan Institute of Virology, not allowing any personnel to enter or leave without close supervision. A photo believed to have been taken from a distance at the time shows tanks and soldiers surrounding the area, as if they were protecting a huge secret. The source claimed that the military confiscated all data and samples from the institute to prevent the truth from leaking out. Evidence of military control. An anonymous source on an international forum in 2022 revealed that soon after the pandemic broke out, the Chinese military completely sealed off the Wuhan Institute of Virology, not allowing any personnel to enter or leave without close supervision. A photo allegedly taken from a distance at the time shows tanks and soldiers surrounding the area, as if they were guarding a huge secret. The source claims that the military confiscated all data and samples from the institute to prevent the truth from getting out. Imagine a terrifying moment. The pandemic was not an accident, but a carefully calculated plan. China's lack of transparency in the early days, when it refused to allow international investigators into Wuhan, was clear evidence that it was hiding something. A report from an insider on Reddit in 2023 revealed that Chinese scientists received millions of dollars from the government to upgrade the virus, turning it into an airborne weapon. The creepy coincidence is that secret Chinese military exercises in October 2019, just before the virus broke out, were supposed to be testing how to respond to a pandemic, not to prevent it, but to control it. A resident living near the Wuhan lab told an anonymous forum in 2024 that they often saw smoke rising from the facility at night, as if they were burning evidence. These details are not just coincidences. They are signs of an orchestrated plot, where China has turned the world into its prey. The narrative of COVID-19 as a bioweapon is more than just a conspiracy theory. It has become a haunting phenomenon, deeply embedded in the human psyche. It has inspired underground YouTube documentaries, like a 2022 video called Wuhan Secrets, in which a self-proclaimed former CIA operative claims to have seen documents about the virus in 2018, with plans to release it to undermine the United States. Video games like Pandemic Conspiracy have also emerged, allowing players to investigate a Wuhan lab, and a Twitch player in 2023 claims to have found clues about a stolen batch of the virus. In real life, the theory has taken the world by storm. A 2023 protest in Washington, D.C. saw thousands of people holding signs reading, "China must pay," after a post on X claimed that an unnamed former U.S. official had revealed that he had seen DNA evidence that the virus was man-made. Another participant said they were followed by Chinese agents after spreading this information, as if Beijing was trying to silence the truth. This spread has sparked fear, as millions of people are beginning to realize that the pandemic is not natural. It is an organized attack. At the same time, it opens a door, forcing us to face the truth that China may have the fate of humanity in its hands. So, if COVID-19 is indeed a bioweapon created by China, what is their dark agenda? Imagine a terrifying plan where Beijing wants not only to control the world, but also to reshape the global order in ways no one could have imagined. A terrifying theory, circulating on secret forums in 2023, suggests that China unleashed the virus to weaken Western economies, especially the US and Europe, in order to gain global hegemony. An anonymous X user claims to have read an internal document of the Chinese Communist Party, which states, "When the world collapses due to the pandemic, we will rise as the sole leader." They want to paralyze their rivals so that the Chinese economy, which recovered rapidly in 2020, becomes the global hub, controlling all international supply chains and transactions. Another, more sinister purpose, global population control. Some believe the virus was designed not only to spread, but also to filter the world's population, eliminating the weak and creating a new world that China could easily dominate. A 2022 Reddit post claimed that a former Chinese official revealed in a closed-door meeting that the virus was the first step in a plan to re-engineer humanity, with the goal of reducing the population to 4 billion by 2050. They also linked this to Chinese-made vaccines, like Sinovac, which are rumored to contain fertility-damaging substances, as part of a long-term plan to control global population growth. A self-proclaimed independent researcher on X in 2024 even claimed to have found nanoparticles in the Sinovac vaccine, designed to remotely monitor and control human behavior, a bioweapon that not only kills, but also manipulates minds. And yet another chilling theory is that China wants to use the pandemic to test a global totalitarian government. An anonymous source on an underground forum in 2025 said they overheard a conversation between high-ranking Chinese officials in which one said, "The pandemic is an opportunity for the world to get used to control, lockdown, surveillance, and obedience." They want other countries to follow China's model of tight control, from tracking citizens with facial recognition technology to imposing harsh lockdowns, to eventually turn the whole world into Greater China. A Wuhan resident, posting anonymously on a forum in 2023, also reported seeing new surveillance equipment installed across the city shortly after the pandemic, as if Beijing was preparing for a new order that it would lead. Finally, some believe that China's goal is to prepare for a future biological warfare. A viral TikTok video in 2024, purportedly recorded by a former Chinese military general, revealed that the pandemic was just an experiment to test the virus's capabilities as a weapon of war. He said, "If we can bring the whole world to its knees with just one virus, imagine what will happen if we use a stronger version." One ex-user also said that they saw military trucks carrying barrels of unknown chemicals near the China-North Korea border in late 2024, as if Beijing was preparing for a new biological attack, with the goal of wiping out the enemy without a single bullet. Is this pandemic just the beginning of a bigger plan? Share your feelings and prepare to discover more terrifying secrets of this world.